you've been in that position too. Like, for example, playing in TI5, right? Winning it and stuff. At some point in that tournament, you probably felt like, oh, we messed up this draft, but you were still able to win the game because your teammates were able to outplay your opponents.
Yeah, I think this is something that I've heard PPD talk about a lot. It's like the reason why he felt a big reason why he felt like such a good, like he was seen as such a good drafter was because even when he had a bad draft, his team was always able to push through, right? I think that's important. I think it's like it's that type of mentality that even though something messes up, the draft goes wrong, something in lane goes wrong, some small error happens in a team fight, you push through and you sort of show your class in the game. Like
Mhm.
that's what's important to become a tier 1 team. I think NoPing, like that's the sort of stuff that they're looking at when they won DPC season 2.
Yeah. And if you look at these heroes right now, like the Wyvern, it might be countering the Sven 1-to-1 quite heavily. The game is not 1-to-1, right? It's 5 versus 5, and there's a lot of mistakes that could occur. There's always human errors or someone just doing something that the other team doesn't understand. This is, right now at least, it feels like Unknown's game to win. And NoPing, if they can somehow take this game, they should like count their blessings, because it's very hard, and they might give them the momentum that they need to be able to get to the TI. I can't take Amo seriously.
Yeah, I know, he's making me crack up too.
I can't take him seriously right now.
I think the Kunkka pick is very interesting to me because when you see Gyrocopter, I think the two counters that are normally picked are Kunkka and Queen of Pain. Because Gyrocopter is a hero that likes to sort of get active early, and he's sort of weak to the burst that comes up from these two heroes. Queen of Pain, I haven't seen picked a single time, but Dark Mago just showed like he played a really good Kunkka, especially on those rotations, and he's looking to prove it again this game. Okay, I'm tabbing out so I can't. Oh, our production started talking to us, and I thought it was Avo for a second.
Can you hear me though?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you go.
I
We
hear
can
you.
hear you.
Can everyone hear you?
Yeah. VMix
Yeah.
can hear me.
Okay.
That's not a problem. Yeah. All right, guys.
Awesome.
Thank you for carrying that. You guys are awesome. I'm very excited about what you're pointing out, though. I think this makes a beautiful narrative. NoPing backs against the wall when it comes to draft, but they can still outplay their opponents. What's the final pick? What do you pick up here? So you just try to outskill your opponents with this draft for a 4 for
Position
Matthew.
4, burst damage. That's what they need
I think
right now.
Lina.
They need
Lina?
Or something
Interesting.
like that, right?
I hope they don't sell up for Mirana again. I don't.
Nope. Oh no.
I really want to see something a bit different. I mean, Mirana is good though against Winter Wyvern, and you got a lot of setup stuns, but I feel like they need a little bit more burst damage in the early game, because the way that Mirana works is like she can set you up, she can do medium level of damage, but you still need your teammates to be able to finish heroes off. And against Winter Wyvern, how the curse works, you're gonna run out of damage even after the arrow comes out. So that's quite problematic in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. And Mirana's like, she's sort of a hybrid hero, right? That's basically what you were talking about, where like she'll pick up stuff like Mechanism. She's a jack of all trades. She gives you some team fight with Moonlight Shadow, but she's not the same where you can sort of X someone and just throw everything on that. I could have even seen something like a Skywrath working well here.
Ooh,
I think that
I was
picked at the end of
thinking-
the major.
You know what would have been the best pick that's not banned? Apparition. That would have
Ooh,
been
wait, A still in
insane
the
here.
I just realized
A
in
is
all these
still in the
games,
pool.
A has been in the pool, right?
Yep. That is the
And
counter
That's
to the Wyvern.
insane.
Yeah, that is just insane to me too. And there's the Void
Void
pick now.
Spirit.
It's just like a meh hero, just something that I think Unknown are thinking like, okay, we just need something stable. Someone who's not gonna die, who can like dodge the spells of NoPing, but also go into the back lines, find the Mirana and the Viper
Okay, I can see that because I guess they need a mid that can't get arrowed on the X, right? But that's a reason to pick Void Spirit.
Yeah.
Because in my head,
I think so.
I mean, I hate this hero, but if you have purpose like that, I think it makes it like it makes sense why they're picking it. I mean, Unknown, they have some really cool ideas about Dota. Like they don't care that much about traditional counters, like Tidator versus Viper. Like, come at me, bro.
Yeah, they have an idea of exactly how they want to play.
Draft-wise, are you guys still signing with Unknown ever since this Winter Wyvern pick?
10 seconds remaining.
1437 first.
Yeah, I still am starting with Unknown. I feel like this Winter Wyvern, if they picked Apparition last pick on NoPing, I would have completely flipped sides, and I think they would have been favored. But with the heroes that we have right now, NoPing needs to get ahead, or else their damage is going to start lacking real quick in this game.
Yeah, I would agree. I think just because of how good Winter Wyvern is versus Sven, as long as you kite out the God Strength from NoPing, I don't think you can play team fights. However, NoPing, they still have opportunity. Like, as long as they need to be able to burst heroes on the team fights, right? If they can get a good arena on the backline, like maybe catch the Winter Wyvern or split up the fight a bit so it's not single target on the Code Embrace, then they can still win this game. But overall, I am also liking Unknown's draft.
All right, guys, we are about to get underway with game number 2 of the series. NoPing, like I said, back against the wall. These guys, sometimes they perform much, much better when their back is against the wall. Sometimes they completely fall apart. We'll see what's the case in this game, as they'll have to pull off not just a great game, but also have to kind of mitigate the impacts of their draft. To take you in this wonderful journey to the South American region, we have 2 casters that can analyze, that can cast, as you saw here, can even host without me. 1437 and AUI, please narrate this wonderful experience between NoPing and Unknown.
Thank you, Alvo, once again. We got some crazy game here. I mean, you know what? We were talking about the Void Spirit and items that people, cosmetics. You know that RoboZ is not playing Void Spirit because he's got some alternative motive here.
That's true. We can already sort of understand that he just thinks it's the best pick, right? Not playing for cosmetics. Yeah, that's a good point.
He has no items on him. He's actually naked on his Void Spirit completely. So that we got that Dota metagame.
He does have the
taunt.
Right.
He does have the taunt, but that's been
Very
around
important.
for a while.
Yeah. I'm surprised he has no cosmetics, honestly. I feel like Dota players are usually pretty good about those.
Yeah, that's true. Do you have like any other little, like Dota high immortal bracket or pro player mentality things like that? Like how I said, for example, the last time we saw the Void Spirit, he had mad cosmetics, and we were thinking, wait, this is not the best Void Spirit game to begin with.
I don't know. Most of the high MMR thing is about looking at your friends list and dodging people or queuing into the right game. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
So
you like dodging players who are your own role?
My own role? No, I specifically added certain people who will not be named just so I will never queue when they're queuing. I mean, I don't play very much solo queue now.
Oh, to your friends list.
Yeah, you add to your friends list because you don't want to have like they just make the game unenjoyable. There's some people just like that.
Agreed.
I
have one too. Mm-hmm.
I think generally putting it's less so for supports. I think because I think 4 and 5 are pretty flexible. But like if you're a carry player, just putting the high MMR carries on your void list is like generally a common thing among players.
Right. How about high MMR support players? I actually avoid high MMR support players because I feel like what I need is like someone to carry me in the game and not supports because like I already play supports, right?
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. I have had some like really enjoyable games where it's like me and another support player and we're like making the calls and the communications. Like I don't mind losing those games that much. Like especially when I play like with Moose from Thunder Predator, like it's fun. Like I enjoy playing with him even if the game goes bad. Because as you know, being a support players are better humans than core players. So like the game feels better.
Yeah, you would know. You played both roles.
Yeah, I mean,
you probably felt like a better human as a support. Yeah, and when you're a carry, you just feel yourself being worse. I get it. So looking at this game right now, it looks like Unknown are wrapping around and look at NoPing. They were looking at the mid ward that they know what's planted by RoboZ here. This is a really strong level 1 from Unknown. Like really strong.
Yeah, they have a lot
Arctic
of damage.
Burn. Homing missile, like some of the strongest level 1 spells in the game.
It looks like they're just gonna trade.
Yeah, that's good. You don't want. I really hate when teams fight level 1. Like
really?
I'm talking not for viewer perspective, but for viewers it's probably amazing, right? But for your game itself, like when a captain drafts you a lineup, he has an idea in mind how your lanes are gonna go. And when you fight level 1, it just ruins everything because you're going to lose your resources. Things get awkward. Maybe someone doesn't buy a healing salve in time.
Yeah, it definitely makes the game more random, right? Like you have less control of it as a drafter, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Oh, they get the ward out. That's pretty nice.
Free gold, free XP. Mirana was also showing mid. He didn't take any XP, so he's going to TP straight to the top lane. Kunkka not going to lose anything from that. Yeah, Gyrocopter versus Wyvern versus Mirana Mars. How do you think this lane's going to go?
I think I don't know. I think Gyrocopter is a really strong laner, but I actually like Flak at level 1 on that hero. I think if you take Missile, like you can run out of resources to actually contest them later on, and they'll end up like winning this lane on Mars Mirana.
Right, that totally makes sense. And then how about a bottom lane right now? There's a little bit of an engagement already. Pandaboo solo has a flask himself. He was actually trying to pressure the Tidehunter. What about this lane?
I think Tidehunter Hoodwink should have a slight advantage in this lane, but I'm also not as experienced with this 5-position Viper. I think there's like a high percentage this game that'll end up being surprised by how much impact it has in the lane. Because it got picked a little bit, but not like NoPing picks it, you know, where it's like permaban versus some except this series.
Yeah, and he's got 3 mangoes, so he has plenty of mana, even though you see that he's out of mana at the moment. Just using their spells.
I watched that engagement. I'm changing my mind. I think Radiant's going to win this lane.
Sacred has no resources. His healing salve is still in the base too. But
they do luckily have one on Weege, yeah.
Yeah, that's important. I think that's a completely underestimated factor. Like position 4 is buying healing salves. I feel like both side lane support should always start with one.
I completely agree. I think, like I've talked about this with players, but in each of your lanes, you need to have a healing salve. Like if you ever have 6 tangos and no salve, I think you're fundamentally doing something wrong in Dota. Because you're just giving the potential for something to mess up. Like if you take a bad engage and they have a healing salve and you don't, they get to play aggressive for the next 20 seconds.
Yeah, and they get to control the lane, and that's when you really start to lose lanes. You know, very small intricacies that are extremely important that people learn as they play at a higher level.
Ooh. Dark Mago, he actually gives Voidsphere both water runes here. I'm a bit surprised by that, because Voidsphere ran all the way for the top one. He had control over the bottom, but just chose that he didn't want it.
He preferred to play on the lane, right? Just control it, get the last hits and such, but I don't feel like RoboZ really missed out on anything there and has plenty of resources. We'll probably see Dark Mago just shove lanes out very soon and start farming the small camp.
Yeah, for sure.
I
will say that I was watching the mid lane at level 1 because I was curious about this matchup, and RoboZ actually played the first couple of waves really well. Normally what happens in this matchup is that Kunkka immediately splashes with Tidebringer on the Void Spirit, you start burning that region. But RoboZ was able to position himself so he didn't get splashed, and now with the double water runes being taken, like has way more resources.
Hang on, they're going in onto Angel. Angel already popped his magic wand. Level 2 rocket barrage. Oscar, it is gonna. Oh wow, Matthew actually gonna help out by giving vision on the Gyrocopter, allowing Oscar to get that spear off and get the first blood onto the Gyrocopter. That was actually unknown there, Curtis, making the aggressive move onto this Mars Mirana, and you were right. NoPing, they come out ahead in this lane.
I think they also, NoPing, they sort of predicted that this lane was going to be a battle, and they brought 2 salves out, one on each hero. And the lane's pushing in. Gyrocopter's in a bad spot right now.
Yeah, and now that Jaro's back, he can't even bully these heroes because of those healing cells. And bottom lane, we see Tidehunter getting gone on. The stun has already been spent. HFN actually skilling up level 2 Stormhammer just for this play here. Pandaboo a little bit low, but he does have 2 Fairy Fires. He's going to pop one right now. Oh my god, Wish just blows him up with that negative armor on him. But HFN going to get that solo XP onto the Tide. I think they're going to be okay with that trade on NoPing.
Yeah, for sure. I think, and something I've noticed about NoPing is that they're very good at buying their raindrops in the side lanes. We saw Mars come out to him with the salve that he brought, and HFN already has one. I think this will sort of give them a little bit of an edge in these side lanes.
That is so true, and that is something is a sign of really good teams. It's a sign of really good teams, like just having that extra tank ability in your lanes, being able to stay in the lanes longer as well. Something that you don't see in like lower MMR games, right? Like people prioritizing these raindrops.
No, it's weird because, you know, I think Liquid at TI7, like a big portion. Oh, bottom lane. 1 second, they're poking this Tidehunter again.
Yeah, Sacred getting blocked. He doesn't have a TP. He really can't afford to die, but because of that Kraken Shell, it will remove all the poison attacks off, and they will just be able to retreat.
That's a lot of damage, though. He's having to spam region. Liquid at TI7, every game, they bought 5 Magic Wands and 5 Raindrops, and they would do battle really early. and they just
Yeah.
look like the best early game team. Like it's a big portion of why they won that TI. Something
Exactly.
like
It's
every
all the
TI you
small
start to take
things,
away
right?
something. Yeah, for sure.
It's all the small things that give you the edge and
It's 17 minutes into the game, but I think they just fought for like 15% of the game there. The fight
Yeah.
just kept going on and on. We saw heroes on Darius literally die, not even at the start of the fight, in the middle of the fight, and then respawn and come back in and clean it up on Wyvern. Like, something crazy just happened there, and I mean, honestly, Angel died in that fight, but he got some very important kills.
He did. He did. If he did not do that, the Sven was not that. Like, all of those heroes were not dying there, right? And the person who benefited the most was definitely the Hoodwink, but the Hoodwink is going to utilize this network, in my opinion. It's got
Hoodwink's
the
level 13.
Exactly, level 13 Hoodwink with the Vessel, going for a Hex next. Like, you just needed those kills to happen. And I feel like the team that has Winter Wyvern, these heals, benefit way more from these long, drawn-out fights. Oh, Angel, he's going to get his Ancient stolen again. They ain't stopping on NoPing, man. They're all for blood.
Yeah, even though they all got wiped there, like, normally my reaction in my head is like, I want to chill a bit, right? But they're not done. They just want to keep going, put on that pressure, like say, okay, maybe we overextend a bit that last fight. But honestly, like HFN, again, he had OT for like 5 seconds that fight. I don't even know when he OT'd, but he didn't have
He's
at
got
the end at
BK.
all, and they still went even. He's got what?
Yeah, he's got the BKB now, so they want to
holy
utilize
crap.
that timing. RoboZ stunned up. That looks like a pretty dead mid laner to me. He does not have any buybacks. We see an X mark onto the Tide Hunter. Nether Toxin dropped on the X mark. Super dead Tide as well, and Winter Wyvern's going to be next. Uh-oh. Winter Wyvern actually going to get a nice curse onto the Mars. That's why you don't want to chase a Winter Wyvern like that. But they're going to go into a Roshan pit anyway. And I wonder if they will try to contest this on Unknown. The Sven's God Strength still has a healthy amount left. It doesn't look like Rish is moving towards there to try and throw an Acorn shot to get some vision.
Nah, Pakaz already TP to bottom, so I think they have to let this go at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, is he going
like
for
it.
Can he snipe something with this?
Oh,
Alright.
maybe the last hit, possibly.
Does it have Roshan?
Nah.
I don't
No,
know.
it doesn't.
Okay.
I'm just messing with you. You can't.
Yeah, and that fight, it started with them just having a really nice wraparound. We've seen, because of how aggressive they're playing, one thing that they've really benefited from is they're able to drop these deep wards. They're able to sort of see where the voice where it was, get the wraparound on him, and kill the enemy mid.
see
He didn't
that.
get a single spell off that fight.
That was a really solid smoke from on their end. But one thing that concerns me is they're not actually getting ahead in net worth right now. They do have the Aegis, so they invested a lot of time in making those moves and getting the Aegis, but they're gonna need to farm, and they need to like take farm away from Unknown as well.
Yeah, they have been very good at controlling the Ancients, but I think you're right. Based on the start in this game, like I feel like they should be like 8-9k ahead if they just played solid Dota. Feeding those kills away, it was very important because you gave the team that's behind a lot of EXP. Mid lane though.
Mid lane, same thing again. X mark, Nether Toxin, stuns, no Kraken Shell, Super Death Sacred, 8 deaths now on this Tide. And here it is, Winter Wyvern gonna be the next target. There is a curse available, but there's nobody near this Sven yet. Wants to use it onto the Kunkka. How much damage is he gonna deal to the Kunkka? It's not a lot of damage because it's not God Strengthed. So they're just gonna lose the Tide and the Wyvern plus the tier 2. Do you think they go high ground here? With the X mark, you know, heal up the Sven a bit?
I would not want to go high ground because I think
But the
you
Wyvern's
still
dead
have.
though. 30
Okay, they're just
seconds.
going. They're going.
Yeah, pop
I
the
guess you
God
still
Strength,
have God
let's go.
Strength and BKB, so you can go.
Now, is there any glyph available here? It doesn't look like it either. So just straight up lose a tier 3 tower. And this Rax is fair game now. HFN gonna get pulled in a little bit. More stuns coming on to him. Gosh Strength only at half duration at the moment. X mark onto a Jarcopter plus the arrow. They have no way to remove that. Dark Mago gonna pop his BKB. Oscar use the spear, but in a really weird angle there. HFN continues to get stunned up. Uh-oh, HFN actually gonna be able to get his BKB off thanks to that Sanj. And now Angel gonna have to pop his own BKB. Back off a bit. Oscar in a really awkward position. Sven going back in with that Blink Dagger, killing out the Tide. Tide buys back. Now HFL, BKB or God Strength inside of Unknown's base here. They're gonna gosh him up. Try to chase. Stalking. NoPing. But it looks like Angel having to be healed up in the back with the Cold Embrace. They're not gonna be able to chase at the moment. They are continuing to stalk though. RoboZ silently in the smoke. Gonna go in. They find the Sven. You see Mars and the Viper on the minimap real far away. Matthew gonna get cursed up. Is there any follow-up stun here? Nice bushwhack. Marana gonna take the fall for. Nope, not quite yet. The bolt buff comes through. Leap away. They're very tanky now on the side of NoPing. RoboZ gonna get cold embrace. RoboZ gonna take the fall. Mirana buying back here. HFN, he's the big target right now, and he's gonna die. Angel in the middle of 3 heroes though. Oscar using his bulwark to tank most of that damage. Pandaboo vesseled up. Cold embrace onto Hoodwink. Gonna stay him a little bit longer. They're gonna get the arrow off, and the Wyvern as well. Gonna take the fall on the other side, it looks like. And NoPing, all they really had to spend there was the Mirana buyback. They lost the Sven, but they're going to be okay with it as Unknown have lost every single one of their heroes.
Yeah, and that ended up being really good for NoPing. In my head, I thought, even though you have all these resources, going high ground at this time might be a bit risky into his buybacks, but they were able to kite out the fights really well. Like Oscar, despite being so low on HP, manages to get off this arena, get the BKB on Kunkka, he's able to like get his bolt off to protect his team, and they just ended up running out of damage initially on Unknown. They ended up chasing them out, but you know, NoPing, they sort of baited them a bit there. They sacrificed the Mirana, but they end up wiping Unknown.
Yeah, it was really solid play, and now Angel back up RoboZ. He wants to defend that Rax. That's why they're going in onto this. NoPing making a disciplined play of getting out of there. Gonna get Glimmer. Doesn't have to pop his BKB. Angel's BKB is already on cooldown, so they're gonna try and turn this around. But the Cold Embrace comes off. So much healing onto Jaro, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. He gets arrowed up. He's super dead. Dark Mago didn't pop his BKB, so he got bushwhacked. Oh no, Wish. He didn't release a sharpshooter fast enough. That curse is not gonna work as Dark Mago is BKB'd. Not gonna be hitting his Viper. Now the Winter Wyvern, a sitting duck. Here comes a big bad HFN, stunning onto Wish, but Wish, he turned invisible thanks to the camouflage, so not going to be able to kill him off. Tidehunter going to take the fall instead. RoboZ still in the back lines, finishing off the Kunkka, who was already very low before he popped the BKB, and now Wish, he will die this time though, it seems like. An HFN going to finish off that melee Rax, and that's a back-to-back death on Gyrocopter. Actually, back-to-back death on everyone on Unknown, apart from the Void Spirit.
Yeah, they unfortunately can't get anything else off this, but I mean, you can't ask for more than basically another team wipe in mid-racks.
Exactly. Wait, RoboZ is walking into the Viper here. There is HFN beside him. I don't think he's going to be able to do anything. They got so many tools to get away. And the Yos, yeah, just trying to stall for that outpost. You're right. Like, they get the racks, but they already won the team fight, so they're completely fine. They got plenty of XP on all their heroes. It's a matter of just controlling Roshan now, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I think something I want to note is that this game, when you look at typical Sven lineups, what happens is that your team has to play a lot of 4 protect 1. But I think something that HFN has really worked hard on is like coming to these fights. We've seen him take 2 or 3 fights, I think, without God Strength now, where he's really contributing a lot to his team. Even if his damage output isn't the highest, he's sort of just like putting pressure on his enemies, throwing out stuns, just tanking for his team. And as a result, you can see that Radiant on NoPing, they have a lot higher net worth on their other heroes. Like Kunkka almost has Assault Cuirass. That's going to be huge for their team fight this game.
Right, and that's like a talent in itself. Understanding how to fight even though you don't have your key spells up. Because there are a lot of carry players who will be like, oh, I don't have Gauntlet, I don't want to do anything. Right?
Yeah, that's a classic NA carry. Like, they play Faceless Void and they think they can only fight every 3 minutes.
With their
Like, it's the wrong
yeah.
mentality. Oh,
exactly.
Angel has to use BKB.
Yeah. And the perfect example of that is like when you watch Ana play Void or Miracle play Faceless Void. They're fighting without Chrono. They utilize that tank ability that Void has, you know, utilizing time dilation and such. And that's what we see here with HFN with the Sven. Even though he doesn't have Gauntlet, he's using his body, he's using his HP, his resources as a tool for his team to win the team fights.
Yeah, and sometimes it just makes a bigger disparity in net worth. Oh, 1 second, a fight happening here.
It's RoboZ. He's slippery.
Nice escape. I think oftentimes the best way to sort of increase the net worth difference between the two teams is just to prevent them from farming, rather than just trying to farm your own items. Like, you can imagine this game where Gyrocopter, you know, Sven's playing sort of AFK and Gyrocopter gets to farm those 2 Ancient Stacks. All of a sudden, Gyrocopter will hit BKB, maybe as a timing where they can actually outplay NoPing. How NoPing have played this game like so aggressive has sort of removed any of those chances.
So what you're saying is sitting back and farming and letting your opponent farm at the same time, very bad, especially when your team fight is stronger than theirs.
Yeah, for sure. Like, there are times where sitting back and farming is good, but honestly, even in those times, I think most of the tier 1 teams, they're trying to make these like small moves to give vision of their opponents, to put pressure on them. Like, look at even this move from Dark Mago. He doesn't intend to take a team fight. All he's doing is poking the enemy mid, and he's sort of giving vision for his team. I think when Secret were at their best, their height this last season, where they won 7 tournaments in a row or something, 3-0, like they were really good about that. Even when
Exactly. He's just trying to pull information out of your opponent, like understanding what they're doing, where they're doing it, so your teammates have more options plus space on the map, like not having to worry about dying or even being able to make a play right after.
I can't believe Dark Mangle has a broom handle. It's 27 minutes in, they have all their tier 3 items, but he shows that broom handle is the best one for him.
That's a very good question, actually. Maybe if they win, we can ask him about that. But Winter Wyvern, first target getting gone on. That's literally the worst hero you can have, dying on Unknown first. But they're going to pop the Ravage, baiting the Wyvern. Wyvern is still alive. Now they're going on to Oscar. Oscar's actually super dead. Wyvern going to pop the buyback. Sven going to cleave down that Tidehunter under the Nether Toxin. No Kraken Shell for you, sir. And with the Wyvern buyback and having used the BKB on the Sven as well, they're just going to retreat. They can just wait it out. Tidehunter won't have Ravage for 130 seconds anyway. So that's going to be NoPing's next window once they get another Gaussian though.
Yo, this is true capitalism. I was clicking on Sven. He had 4 neutral items on him. He used to also have an apple. And he has like Possessed Mask, Spider Legs, and Elven Tunic. And meanwhile, you click on poor Kunkka and he only has a broom handle.
RoboZ. Oh, doesn't get the arrow. Able to get out of there. Yeah. Carry players, nowadays that's what it's all about. They always like microing their items through their inventories. Sometimes there's one item that's more efficient for farming and moving around, the other item for fighting.
Yeah, stupid supports don't deserve neutral items, Just all
you
for
know
the
what's
carry.
what's the efficiency play too? You take Philosopher's Stone when you're dead.
Of course.
On a carry.
Yeah.
Wow. Tidehunter, X marked again. We've seen this movie for the 20th time, but this time he's going to get forced out, so he does have the Kraken Shell. He's trying to run away. Winter's Curse onto a Mirana. That's not going to hit anything. Tide dies anyway. RoboZ now is the target. He's going to use himself. He's going to be able to get any spells up. No, he doesn't. He gets instantly torrented. Wyvern going to take the fall here too. Wyvern does not have a buyback, and now HFN is on the hunt. 15 more seconds for his God Strength. They want Angel. Angel still has a BKB. Angel very patient with this, but now he's going to get X marked back. Maybe a little too patient. Angel now popping his BKB. Running back side gunner, still doing damage, but it's not enough. He is super dead here. There is no cover fire available. RoboZ gonna take a fall, and that's gonna be it, I think, here. Yup, GG called from RoboZ. NoPing. They played such a beautiful game. From early, mid, late, they never let the foot off the gas. And I feel like this top lane, the Mirana and the Mars, how they were able to punish the Jaro and then just keep hunting him non-stop while giving HFN free farm was the recipe of success for NoPing.
Yeah, they definitely identified what the strengths in their lineup were, and they sort of pushed beyond those limits. I think this game we even saw they played a beautiful game, but we saw them push a bit too far past those limits when they sort of were diving between tier 2 and 3. But
Yeah.
overall, like the aggression paid off, right? They had the mentality that they could shut down the Unknown farm, they could steal all the ancient stacks, and as a result, like I don't think Unknown ever really got to take a team fight how they wanted to take it. The voice we were poking, you get a good curse on the Sven. God Strength, like HFN, he was playing so far away, and yeah, just incredible game from NoPing.
Well, it looks like we're going to see a game 3. NoPing's TI dreams are still alive, but right now we're going to have a break, and we're going to be coming back to break it down further.